It has been exactly 2 years since I quit my job. In this video, I'm gonna show you guys the exact email that I sent my bosses on the day that I quit without a 2-week warning. It's a really good email, so you're gonna wanna stay tuned. And I will never forget getting in my car and driving away from that place. I'm actually about to tear up because it's crazy. What is up? It is Jordan from Buy 9 to 5 helping you say goodbye to your 9 to 5. And in this video, I want to talk about my reflection from quitting my job 2 years ago, the story that led to that, as well as how I'm feeling now as we head into 2020. So as many of you probably know, I have a master's degree in business psychology. That led me to working at a place called First Data, Fortune 500 company where I was a business analyst. I worked there for about 3 years, and after that, I was absolutely miserable. I hated my job. I hated what I did. I hated everything about it. I hated that I only made $46,000 a year, which to some of you might sound like a lot, but when you rack up a lot of student debt to get into that job, it's really not very much money, especially for somebody who has a master's degree. The workplace was depressing. Everybody walked around looking like they hated what they did as well, and it was just not a place that I enjoyed being. I absolutely hated when the alarm clock went off. I could not stand waking up knowing that I have 5 days left of this, 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, and then the weekend comes and all I do is think about, oh, I gotta go back to work Monday. I absolutely could not stand it. It took about 45 minutes just to drive into work with all the traffic, bumper to bumper, literally all the way to work and all the way home. So I will never forget 3 years ago, it was January of 2017, I was sitting out on my apartment deck and I literally prayed. I said, God, I hate what I'm doing. I hate my job. I pretty much hate everything because of the fact that I have to go to this job. And I said, God, help me get out of it. Somehow, some way, just help me get out of this because it sucks and I can't stand it. And I'm not even kidding you guys. 1 month later is when I made my first YouTube channel copying and reposting videos. Basically, I was on YouTube and I was just looking at conspiracy videos because that's what I always used to do because I thought it was really fun. And then it finally dawned on me, like, there's all these ads on these videos and I see that these people did not make the videos. Sometimes I see the same video multiple times and they're all making money off of it, millions of views, and I know that they didn't make it. So then I decided, well, you know, it's really easy to start a YouTube channel. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take some of these same sort of videos and I'm gonna post them and see what happens. I didn't expect anything to come of it. I thought I was wasting my time, but that's where I kind of am different than some other people. Some people will say, hey, I'm wasting my time. I don't wanna waste my time. This isn't gonna work anyway. I'm not gonna try it. I said, I hate my job. I hate everything about it. I'm going to try it anyway. If it doesn't work, oh well, I tried. To my surprise, it did work, and I am not even kidding when I say after the first week, I was making somewhere between $400 and $1,000 almost every single day on that channel. It took 2 weeks for me to do that. And this was my first experience with making money online. I was absolutely just fascinated. And so that was continuing month after month where I was making somewhere around $15,000 to $20,000 every single month of 2017 on YouTube. And so some of you might be wondering, why didn't you quit your job right there? This is kind of my advice for you guys. You don't want to quit your job until you know that you're going to be okay. So I decided, okay, God's answering my prayers. I see this happening, but I want to make sure that I can consistently do this. I want to make sure it's going to stay. I want to make sure that I'm going to be able to continue this because I don't want to quit my job and then have, you know, something go wrong where this ends quickly. And so for me, I was like, I'm going to spend this year trying to get as much as I can out of this. And then, you know, once I build up to the point where, you know, I'm gonna be good for a year, maybe 2 years in my bank account, then I know I can quit my job. And throughout that same year, I was also trying to work on building other income streams. So I got into Shopify and I started reinvesting some of the money that I was making from YouTube into building a Shopify store and running ads. And so I had some success with that as well. So I knew now I had 2 different income streams that were pretty consistent. And I knew that, you know, I was going to be okay. Not to mention I did have a good amount of money from the $60,000 that I made on YouTube in that year as well. So then if you fast forward to about October, I got appendicitis, okay? And I know that some of that had to have been because of just how stressed and burnt out I was from going to work. And I remember actually thinking that I was like scared to tell my boss that this happened because I was afraid I was going to get in trouble for having to miss some work time because I didn't have a lot of time left. I went on one trip that year, I was out of time, but I couldn't go to work because I just had surgery. I remember thinking that I was actually scared of that, and I couldn't believe that that was even something that I had to worry about. Then December of 2017 came, and I remember thinking, like, I'm not gonna be able to take any time off for Christmas at all because I don't have any left. I have a lot of money in my bank and I'm still making really good money every single month with my YouTube channel. Why am I still here? So I remember on this exact day, I prayed to God that day, please give me a sign if I'm supposed to quit my job. Just give me a sign, give me some sort of sign. Within that hour, my boss called me and said a bunch of stuff that just pissed me off. Just a bunch of things that pissed me off. And I knew at that moment, I literally hung up the phone and said, thank you, God. And I knew that that was literally what I was supposed to do because I knew that God had something better for me. So then I hung up the phone, I went upstairs and I talked to a couple of my adult friends that worked there. And they all said, do not quit your job. Don't do it. I know you're mad right now, but do not quit your job. And you know, that's something that's really normal for, 40, 50-year-old people to say because they don't understand the world we live in today. In the world we live in today, most of you can make a living online and you can make way more money than you are making right now at your job. Most of you are not doing it because you're either not doing your research, you're not taking the time to figure something out, and you're not putting in the actual effort to actually make it happen. So now I'm gonna show you guys the email that I sent to my bosses that night that I got the phone call. Remember, I went home, I thought about it, I prayed about it, and then I drove back to work at 11 p.m., walked in, wrote out the email, sent it to my bosses, and then left. Hello, I unfortunately wanted to let you both know I have just entered my resignation from First Data. Today will be my final day. I'm honestly just not happy with the fact I've either had to work, be on call, or told I may have to work and cancel my weekends for 2 months straight now between the Citizens Report and complaint tracking. I don't personally find it acceptable to be told I'm not allowed to have a weekend after working a full Monday through Friday and must do a mandatory overtime on the weekends whether I have plans or not. I do not find it acceptable to not even be asked if I'll be available or told I would need to work the weekend, and then be called Saturday at 8 a.m. and told I must get on and work immediately like I'm an on-call surgeon. I have been completely burnt out on speech analytics and listening to calls after doing so for 2.5 years, and being told I can't even have a day break from it anymore was sort of the last straw for me. I realize I'm an hourly worker, but I was actually hired as a salaried employee, and that was taken from me over $500 a year discrepancy, which I have also been frustrated about since it happened. Since I know many others in the company who had their salary raised by that $500 so they could stay salary when this took place. I feel like ever since I agreed to work one weekend, which I've never had to do once in the past 2.5 years I've been here, I've been asked every weekend since, and I don't think it's acceptable. I've seen the way leaders in this company are okay with taking away all of the work-life balance they can from their employees, and have also heard people much higher than me constantly worried about whether First Data is going to lay them off year after year, and that is just not a culture I want to continue to try to climb the ladder in. I also want to let you both know that this has nothing to do with you. I have enjoyed working with you both every single day, and I respect both of you as leaders and as people very much. And I want to thank you both for everything you have done, and I regret and apologize that I need to do this on such short notice. I have another opportunity lined up for me that I'll be pursuing, and I'm turning in my badge and laptop tonight. Thank you both very much, and I wish you nothing but the best in the future. I'll never forget the moment when I turned in my badge, I turned in my laptop to the security guy at the front, and I will never forget getting in my car and driving away from that place, knowing I don't have to wake up the next morning. I literally went home, I got Taco Bell, I played video games, just woke up whenever I wanted the next morning. I had one call from my boss and then from one of my adult friends at work. I just ignored those, and then that was it. Never heard from any of them ever again. And I will never forget that moment. You know, it did so many things for me. First of all, it just gave me freedom, right? So for the first time in 3 years, I was happy. I had freedom. You know, I had some money in the bank, so I could travel. I could go do fun things. You know, I got to go to WrestleMania. I got to go to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I got to drive numerous NASCAR cars. I got to go to the Daytona 500. I've gotten to do so many awesome things, and I am so blessed. And I actually just got my passport, and this next year in 2020, I'm going to be doing a lot of international travel. I'm going to be making travel vlogs for you guys to the different countries I go to, and I'm so excited about it, and I'm so blessed. And I just want to thank God from the bottom of my heart for answering my prayers 3 years ago. I'm actually about to tear up because it's crazy. You know, 3 years ago, God answered my prayers when I sat down in January and I asked him about this. He answered it again when I asked for a sign, and because of that, I have now been so blessed to be able to, you know, just live the life I always wished that I could. And so if this has inspired you, please stop. You know, just give an hour a day, half an hour a day, learning new things, trying to figure something out, and then actually implementing. You have to actually implement. Please actually implement. Don't just watch. Don't just haphazardly do stuff. Try. You know, actually give your full effort, because it can change your life. You can be sitting here 2 years from now, a millionaire, with no job. You know, it's the same thing that I did, and I want you to be able to experience that too. So I'm not saying that you have to take my courses to do it. You can easily do this stuff on your own. Just please try. Please try. And if you need guidance and you need someone who's been through it, I have those courses for you. But, you know, it doesn't even have to be any of these methods. Come up with your own method. Do some research. Find out other people's methods. Find something that works for you. In today's day and age, there's just so many different ways that you can make money on your own. This is actually the best time to be alive right now because, you know, 20 years ago, this didn't even exist. If you wanted to make money on your own, if you wanted to, you know, be the boss instead of having someone else be your boss, if you wanted to be the one at the top making all the money instead of your boss, you had to literally open a business, like a brick and mortar business, and you had to have enough money to buy the place and to do everything that it takes to build a business. For most people, that's impossible. Today, anybody can start a business and make money without spending any money. It's absurd. Like, it actually frustrates me that so many people wake up every day, they go to work every day, they hate their job, they hate their life, they hate what they do, but they don't look into other ways to change it. I spent 3 years, if not more, doing nothing but researching different businesses in different ways that I could make money without having to spend money, so that it was no risk and all reward. You know, I didn't care if I made $5, $10, $15. You know, if I didn't spend anything, then it's profit, and who cares? But there's always a possibility that it could blow up. I wasn't afraid of losing my time because I was already losing 8 to 10 hours a day every day going to work. So what's a few more hours trying to figure something out and making this stuff work? Especially in this day and age where you have access to so many people. You can literally target any single person you want. You want to target someone who's interested directly in fluffy parrot stuffed animals? You can target hundreds of thousands of people who have that exact interest. You know, from YouTube to affiliate marketing to drop shipping to, you know, making your own merchandise, you know, to flipping items. I mean, there's just so many opportunities to make money online that literally everyone should be jumping into it. There is unlimited niches. There's billions of people that you can target on the internet today. And, you know, anybody who isn't taking advantage of that, I actually feel sorry for if they're not enjoying what they're doing in life. You know, because at the end of the day, you only get one life. You only get one. You know, and to waste most of that doing something you hate, that just sucks. All right, guys, make 2020 yours. This was literally just a reflection video. Every year I go through this reflection phase on the date of when I quit my job and just literally soak it all in, what I've been able to do, what I'm gonna do next, and how I'm gonna kill 2020. So I'm excited about 2020, gonna make it happen bigger than ever next year. So super excited about that. That's it, I'm out. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace.